Peace and love, black family. It's the Prince of Pan-Africanism, King Kong Consciousness, live and direct, Richmond, Virginia, on the 400th anniversary of the arrival of our ancestors in this country as property. I am standing in the ancient African burial ground of Richmond, Virginia. I am standing where slave revolt leader Gabriel Prosser in October 10th of 1800, the birth week of Nat Turner, was hung by the gallows here in the old African burial ground of Richmond, Virginia. I am here to offer libation, to call on the ancestors, to give us strength, to give us power, to give us glory, to give us victory, to give us determination, to give us persistence, to give us insistence, to give us courage, to give us vision, to give us leadership. I am here to pay respects at the African burial ground, brothers and sisters. Ashe. We are here to pay respects at the African burial ground. 400 years. For 400 years, beginning in 1619, our ancestors were brought to the shores of North America to be enslaved by Europeans so that they can build an empire for themselves. And we are here today to say no more. We are here to pay respects for the ancestors here at the African burial ground in Richmond, Virginia. We are here to say no more, brothers and sisters. And as you look around, we already got brothers and sisters who are already doing a ceremony over there under the tent, as you can see them. But I didn't know that was going on today, so I came to do my own private ceremony here at the Richmond African Burial Ground, brothers and sisters. That's what I am here for, the Prince of Pan-Africanism, honoring my ancestors. That is what I do. Ashe, Omi Tutu, Ono Tutu, Ile Tutu, Tutu Gedi Nimbo, Olo Dumare, Juba Gababu, Iko Loati, Mebelese, Ashe. I want to call out the names of the ancestors. Marcus Garvey, Ashe. Frederick Douglass, Fannie Lou Hamer, Ida B. Wells, Ashe. Harriet Tubman, Henry Holland Garnett, Martin Delaney, Ashe. All the ancestors who came over on the ships the 1st century, Ashe. All the ancestors who came over on the ships the 2nd century, Ashe. All the ancestors who came over the 3rd century, Ashe. We call on the freedom fighters. We call on those who was raped, those who were molested in prison, who lost parts of their body, who had their families ripped away from them. We call on them to say Ashe. We ask our ancestors to make sure. We ask our ancestors to make sure that we never go through this again. We are still in a bad situation right now, family, and we call on our African ancestors here, there, and everywhere to give us the strength, to give us the power, to give us the guidance to make sure that we never, ever allow that to happen again, but more importantly, to make sure that we rise up out of this oppression. We got mass incarceration. We got mass miseducation. We got mass extermination. We have black on black crime, black on black hate. Every problem you can list, we are afflicted with it. But we go forward into this 5th century together with a new, renewed determination. We see our reality in a whole new way. We see the future before us in a whole new way, that we shall liberate ourselves. And although it may not happen in our lifetime, we will work to do whatever we can do to make sure that our posterity, our descendants, our great-grandchildren and grandchildren can one day live in a free world. Not just a free America, but a free Africa, a free Caribbean, a free Europe, a free Asia, because this is the African world, but the continent of Africa is the government. We call on the Most High God to bless all the African ancestors who were died here, who were buried here. We call on Almighty God to bless Gabriel Prosser, to bless Denmark Vesey, to bless Nat Turner, to bless the Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman, to bless the Huey P. Newtons of the world, to bless the George Jacksons of the world, the John Jacksons of the world. Yes, indeed, to bless all the ancestors, the Marcus Messiah Garveys, the Dr. Kings, the Malcolm X's, the Medgar Evers, the Emmett Tills, the Michael Browns, the Philando Castiles, the Alton Sterlings, the Sandra Blands, and all of the various Africans who gave their life over 400 years. On this day, 400 years ago, we showed up right here in the state of Virginia on this day. And we have made up our mind that whether it be another 100 years, but we're hoping that it don't even be another year, African people shall be free. Yes, indeed. Ashe, pouring the libations for the ancestors. That's what we doing here. King Kong Consciousness, making my way down 95 South. It's going down tomorrow. It's going down tomorrow. It's going down tomorrow. NatTurnerLand, Druryville, Virginia. 11 o'clock tour, 2 o'clock tour, 5 o'clock libation, 7 o'clock town hall meeting for the bloodiest slave revolt in American history. But if there was no Gabriel Prosser, there would have never been a Nat Turner. If there was no Gabriel Prosser, there would have never been a Nat Turner. If there was no Gabriel Prosser, there would have never been a Nat Turner. So on this day, this 400th anniversary, this quadricentennial, this 4 centuries, we have come as African people to the African slave burial ground of Richmond, Virginia, to say never again, never again. We will crush mass incarceration. We will crush police genocide. We will crush miseducation. We will will crush black on black crime. We will crush self-hate. We will crush white Jesus. We will crush every single evil that has been placed before us as an African people, because we have made up our minds and our ancestors have made up their minds that we shall all be free. Whether you call yourself Hebrew or Nawapian, whether you call yourself Moor or Asiatic, whether you call yourself Aboriginal or African, we are but one family. So let's not fight over the names, because no name is appropriate. That's right. There's no name that can name God's first people. And if you can't give God's first people a name, you definitely can't give God a name. So whether you want to call him Amun-Ra, Olodumare, Jehovah, Elohim, God, I don't care what name you use, there is no name that can define the undefinable, brothers and sisters. So I am happy today. King Kong Consciousness. I'll be celebrating my solar return tomorrow. I'll be celebrating the Nat Turner War tomorrow. I'll be celebrating the Haitian Revolution tomorrow. I'll be celebrating the George Jackson Prison War tomorrow. And I will be celebrating the 400 years, first sunrise of my ancestors in this land of sin. Oh yes, Africa is beating in my heart. Africa is beating in my spirit. And I don't care which one of you Negroes ain't happy to be African. I want you to know I am 100% unapologetically happy to be an African. And I will recommit myself to the African woman. I will recommit myself to African children. I will recommit myself to African elders. I will recommit myself to respecting the history and sacred contributions of all members of my race, here, there, and everywhere. Because it is Pan-Africanism or perish, or unify or die. Not vote or die, unify or die. You've been voting for 150 years and you still ain't free, because the liberation will only come through the unification. That's right. The liberation will only come through the unification. And not only that, brothers and sisters, we got to get back to the ancestors. Oh yes, we got to get back to the ancestors, because the ancestors are the angels that God sent into the world to help us on our path to God consciousness and African political economic liberation. If there is no ancestors, there is no you, because you come from God through the ancestors. The ancestors are not God. They are the servants of God, and they are the custodians of the family legacy, family history, family destiny, and family victory. Ashe, brothers and sisters. This is the Prince of Pan-Africanism signing out. Richmond, Virginia, African slave burial ground. I will see y'all tomorrow at the NatTurnerLand. Nat Turner, August 21st. Birth of Ifatunde, August 21st. Haitian Revolution, August 21st. George Jackson, August 21st. First sunrise in slavery 400 years ago, August 21st. Go to NatTurnerLibrary.com. Go to NatTurnerLibrary.com. Peace and black power. I'm out.